Hello, welcome to Black Metal and Brews, a program in which I try to adjust my computer. Hi, I'm Ben, and you are whoever you are. Uh, Today's episode is a little different from normal. I've moved into a new place. I do not have the ornate tapestry behind me that I usually do. I have my luxurious golden curtain and these walls that I painted the other day, which are also rad. Uh, I am in the process of setting up a proper new space with everything, but it's a work in progress. I'm living out of boxes for now while I wait on while I wait to amass more furniture. So with that in mind, we're just gonna give it a second, let everybody creep on in, and oh, hello, Kira. It's so good to see you. We're gonna. I guess I do have viewers. It's weird. I'm not always able to tell who's watching or how many. I'm probably because I am doing this wrong somehow. But anyway, you know what? I've got somebody here, and people on YouTube watching this later don't need to see minutes and minutes of me. And I've got a shout out to my friend Nicole, my Bloom Offering shirt. Nicole makes wonderful music, and I bought some things from her recently and ended up with one of her shirts. So anyway, let's put on a tape. This tape is about fungus. I'm gonna take the thing out because the computer screen glares too much. It's called Bovist. Is the name of the group. The tape is called Mycologist. Fungal, interesting music. Released by The Throat. A wonderful cassette label. So we're gonna listen to this tape. I've got a boombox over here off to the side. It's stacked on boxes. There's nothing glamorous to see. Oh my goodness. So, Kira, you are lonely and sad and needed fun company while you drink and chain smoke. Well, I am not chain smoking. I am about to open a drink, and we're gonna have a drink together. Okay? I really like you. I'm glad to have your friendship, and I'm glad to have you here with me on my first episode in my new home, in my strange new world. So I'm testing this all out. You can tell I didn't really prep much in advance. I'm used to my old sound system that I'd had in my last place, so I'm kind of doing this differently. It may get really loud. It may not get loud enough. I live by a really noisy street, so it's really hard to say. Yeah, it's Friday night. We're gonna have a beer. A little later on, my friend Michael Burdan is DJing at a bar in the neighborhood. He's the singer of the band Uniform. He's a very nice guy. This is my pre-game, and I probably won't drink while I'm out because I don't really need to. But I'm just drinking a regular ass Carlsberg. But they've done this weird branding thing where it's about some football team, soccer, but football, saying this is probably the best team in the world, and this is probably the best beer in the world on the packaging. And that's kind of weird. It's just a regular ass beer. I bought this at Rite Aid. I don't think they're selling the best beer in the world at Rite Aid, but they're selling beer that I can afford and drink cheaply. I don't even have anything to pour this into yet. That's how unmoved in I am. But yeah, so if it's cool with you, I'm going to tilt this down a bit. We're going to... There we are. You need to see this on my head. I don't want to chop my head off, but yeah, there we go. So I'm going to just start opening some packages. I amassed a lot of packages during my move. If you have any questions about anything, or if you want to join me live on YouTube, anybody watching, you're welcome to. Just let me know, and you too can broadcast yourself being a fool to tens of viewers on the internet. Let me get my fancy opener. My I love my keychain. I love this. This was a gift to me when I moved here. My astrological thing. I don't care what you think about astrology unless you're telling me that it's cool that I'm a Gemini. So let's see, gosh, I've got so many things that I'm so excited to have here. Uh, I'm gonna open this one first. Box. Boxy box. Bum, bum. Ah, na, na, na. I'm just adding melodies, trying to convince them to make me a member of the band. Say, wow, we really need that guy to scat sing along with our spooky atmosphere. And if you're following me on Instagram, which you don't need to be, but like you could, one of the members of this band may have outed themselves in a comment on my Instagram post about tonight's video. So, if you are interested in this, the people doing this are people who made a lot of wonderful black metal projects that I really like. So, it's a little promo for them. So this package that I have came from all the way from Oshkosh, Wisconsin. And it's for something I signed up for a long time ago, which was the 2019, 2019 Gilead Media Sub Pub. Hey, what's up? How's it going in Brazil? I've never been to Brazil, but I'm glad you're here. Hello from Ridgewood, New York. I'm really glad. I really like when people who are not just from my region are tuned in. It's good to have that community. Thank you. If you're watching this, let me know how the volume is between the music and my voice, because I obviously can't hear what you can hear. Look at this. This is beautiful. Adam at Gilead Media consistently goes above and beyond. I am really honored to have this pin, this badge. I'm going to put on my jacket. It also came with, because you know me, I live for caffeine. And now I've got this really cool bunny Gilead Media mug. Brazil is classic. That doesn't surprise me. I'm sure that you're aware of the state of things in the United States. We're in strong denial that we are in collapse, but it's fucking clear. I also fucking love Gilead Media. They were one of the first labels I really started supporting with my blog and all that, and I'm glad to still be involved. And then I got this shirt, this cool-ass Gilead Media shirt. I couldn't afford to subscribe to their club in 2020 because life is fucked up, man, and I spent most of last year being very ill, as anybody who watches this regularly knows. So this year I just didn't have the finances. Look at this. This is cool. Cool as hell. So I'm really happy to have a new shirt and a new mug for my new home. That's gonna be fucking rad. I'll post it up. I'll be in my bathrobe, feeling all fancy, drinking coffee in my new home, looking out the window, pondering. Well, I don't know. What do you do with a robe and coffee? I feel like you gotta be refined yet unrefined somehow. Thank you. I think it's a dope shirt too. I'm fucking pumped on this. Adam, Gilead Media, if you're watching, dude, this is rad as hell. Thank you so much. Gilead Media crushes it. There we go. We got so much Gilead love. We're gonna have to tell him. Oh boy. Ponder the decline of. I think I need to. I almost need a shitty soul patch, so I can be oh yes. Maybe a villain mustache to fucking play with, twirl. pensively, not ominously, but just pensively, like, state of things. Maybe I'll take up cigarettes. Uh, Thanks for being here, Ian. Glad to have you. You're always welcome to ignore my dumbass on YouTube anyway. Thank you for being here. Yeah, like I should take up cigarettes. That's a great new thing to do in your mid-30s. Is be like, I should start smoking. Like, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start rolling my own cigarettes. Be one of those guys. Get up, grow a mustache, and just look out the window, smoke my homemade cigarettes, and drink my coffee out of my new Gilead medium mug. I mean, I'm all about self-destruction, but I probably won't do that. To be fair. Isn't this cool music? For those who missed it, this is Bovist, a Dutch psychedelic black metal experiment thing. I've been living my truth my whole life. Unfortunately, the answer keeps changing. Ian, that's going to make me vomit. How dare you? That's so vile. Mustache, hair, cigarettes. I'm going to turn this down just a bit. I have roommates. I don't want to subject them to too much of that noise. Jesus, man. Whew. Life is ridiculous. Like, this noise, like, this music is so crazy. I love it. And you know what? Thinking of the noisier side of things, I got 2 packages from dear friends of mine in the noise community. So if you like black metal and don't know much about noise, perhaps these will be segues for you. If you don't like noise, well, just watch me open my fucking mail and let's hang and talk about other stuff while I open it, okay? First up, and again, if you follow me on Instagram, you may have seen a post about some of this label's output recently. It's old output that I covered, and so of course I had to get the newest output because I'm me and that's what I do. This label now is based out of California. It used to be Midwestern. They're called No Coast, No Hope. And as the name would imply, it used to be, from the Midwest, Midwestern harsh noise and experimental music label, run by the wonderful fella Shay, who has sent me all sorts of cool flyers and stuff in this for things like this Noise Extra, which is a really cool noise-centric podcast run by Gray of Congretic Sound. Absolutely nuts. Good commitment to stuff. I've got 2 No Coast, No Hope stickers here. Maybe I'll send a sticker to somebody. You want a No Coast sticker? Let me know. We're gonna send some stickers home with some people. What matters most here are the pieces of art that this label distributes and creates and shares. Now, I have not heard any of these 3 tapes that I'm about to show you. So, Caleb Warner, you're into stickers? We'll talk later. So, and I don't mean that like we'll talk later. Send me an email, blackmetalandbrews@gmail.com, and because I'm just unpacking from a move, it may take a minute, but I'll send you some junk, maybe even some cool shit in with the junk. Seriously, I mean, just we're good. So this one, fever, spell, and diaphragmatic, of or pertaining to a diaphragm. This looks like some traditional Xerox ass noise. Like the old days of somebody getting access to a copy machine and just making some art. Pro print or is that pro? Yeah, that's a sticker, but still, great tape design. Probably killer music too. This looks harsh. I'm excited by this. This is like that sort of bleak, hopeless sort of noise looking thing that I can't wait to hear this. Uh, this is kind of a testament to part of what caught my eye with No Coast No Hope. Shay, who runs the label, is a real design geek and does an incredible job of packaging things, especially making them in a way where the art is reflective of the music, and I think that's really important to have a unified vision. I don't know about you, like if you buy something, you should be able to, maybe don't judge the book by its cover, but you should be able to get an idea of what the book might be about by looking at the cover, right? I think that's cool. I do not know the band Niku Daruma, but I'm about to. Okay, I got confused. I thought Daruma was the guy from the Zelda game. It's Darunia. The Goron guy. So look at me go. The Ocarina of Time was great. Tell me about Niku Daruma while I go on about these tapes. Deterge. Again, this looks like some like cool like collage work. I've heard some of this artist stuff, and I really enjoyed it. Of heart, and that's how we like it, right? If you're going for harsh noise, you don't want to. I mean, maybe sometimes you do just want to dip a toe in, but this is full commitment noise. I haven't heard this particular tape. Maybe it's a deviation from form. I could be totally misrepresenting it. We'll find out. Maybe I'll play these tapes in the next episode, huh? Well, and look at this. Some, again, great design work. So there's cover. It's an interesting little sidebar. But I'm especially interested in this. So you got the track listing, what it is. It's forget the past. Can you read that? Forget the past and fear the future. You will never understand my motives. No coast, no hope. Fuck you. I'm both not nearly nihilistic enough for that and also completely appreciative of it. And look at this. Again, cool, like, emptiness art. Is that a train station? Is that a moon? What the fuck is going on? I don't even know, but I like it. There's flyers over here. Hell yeah. It sounds like I'm making fun of it, but I swear I'm not. I'm really fascinated by stuff like this. I will have to check this band out. Anybody, you don't have to be my friend, but you're my friend, Kira. Anybody can send me anything via email or a DM or whatever. Whatever way you want to get in touch with me, send me that stuff. Have I written or talked about Sumex's latest album? I may have tweeted about it. I don't remember. I'm actually trying to remember what is their latest album called. Like I'm looking this up now. Is this May You Be Held? I don't think I knew that this happened. Wow. So no, the answer is no. I try to keep up with bands, and I think Sumex is a phenomenal band. I didn't know they had one that's that new. I've been moving and paying less attention to the state of things outside of my own little universe for the last few weeks. May You Be Held. Yeah, that looks cool as hell. Like the art for it, this album art is really cool. I wish I could show you guys. Yeah, this is really cool. Thrill Jockey releases great shit, so I'm not surprised. Third tape from No Coast No Hope, Bottomed, like Bottom ED, Bottom / Holy Family. Is it a split? Yeah. So it's a split between two artists, I'm assuming. Looks really cool. I like that. There's something very abrasive about the redness of this after all those two black and white things. Like this whole thing, and it still has the same high contrast look as the other two, but it's red instead of just black and white. Like, this looks very dire. I have no idea what this is. I'm getting like that kind of cool, early aughts power electronics vibe from it. But again, this is entirely speculative. If you wanted a professional, you wouldn't be watching me anyway, would you? You'd be watching some pretentious asshole that thinks they're an authority instead of just some idiot that loves music like you. So that's those three. But wait, there's more. From this package from No Coast No Hope, there's this big bubble wrap thing. I posted about the first tape from this project on my Instagram not long ago. This is clotting. Clotting is harsh noise centered around office life, as it were. At least the other one was. And so the first one's called Memo 1. This is Memo 2. As you can see, it's in an oversized manila envelope, as if it were in a documents for you. I wish I had the other one handy so I could show you and compare. But look at this. This thing looks like it's kind of like it was an office transmission, but it's also kind of like rotting with this black around the edges. On the back, you've got more of that harshness. This sticker, look at that sticker. That's a cool sticker. Let's open it up and see what's inside. The first clotting tape was really, really captivating stuff. I really enjoyed it. Thought it was just a fascinating use, again, of synthesizing like the packaging and the sound art contained within. So, the tape. Simple, effective, great design. I'm very excited to hear this. I love clotting. I think it's phenomenal harsh noise, kind of power electronic stuff. And yeah, and again, so we see kind of more of that workplace toxicity, more of that anti-capitalist sort of thing, where we've got the office man and that kind of rot look. I'm going to turn this music down just a bit again. And then we have, here you can see, this individual being molded into employee. And I don't know what that is, but it looks gross. Obviously, that's a pretty direct commentary. If I need to hold your hand through it, then we're both really fucking lost. And Carlsberg, what a good stepping stone into the noise realm. Well, one of them is Carlsberg, who just joined us. I think for me, the best stepping stones into noise were kind of crackling ambient things, where it was just beautiful electronic music that happened to have a harshness to them. Work from artists like Alberic, some of Purian's more ambient works. Korean Jade, which is my friend Chris's project, is a phenomenal point of entry into noise because it combines kind of like beautiful electronic stuff with crumbling noise, and it's not overly abrasive, but it's not overly pretty either. It's kind of a good middle ground. Stuff like old releases by groups like Croatian Amor. There's a lot of stuff that's kind of pretty noise, I think, that I do really well. I like a lot of shit. And this is not Clamato. It is Carlsberg, but they branded their beer to for some fucking soccer team. So yeah, it looks like a Clamato. And Kira, feel free to drop a link to your noise in the comments, folks, since we got some noise people in here. And so this clotting thing, again, it's a noise tape about consumerism, the workplace, etc. I'll read it out loud without trying to turn it to you, and then I'll let you take the gander. But as you can see, it's like a proper fucking memo. I love it. It says, Clotting Electronics LLC, Los Angeles, California. Dear consumer, You hold before you the second in a series of harsh noise meetings called to order to be of the utmost care and professionalism. Yet another worthless product fabricated with intentions gone awry. An item intended for home usage, crafted with the ideology of the corporate entities looking to fill their pockets with your labor. Each second of static, scrape, and scratch that pierces your ears is yet another empty scream from a cog behind, a cog being grinded by an uncaring, unflinching machine. Individuals involved with the creation of materials held within this cassette have done so under extreme stress and strain from the detriment of a workplace so uncaring in its desire to break an employee. Mental breakdowns have occurred on the clock. It is with this sentiment that we are joyous in bringing you a purpose, a reason to keep striving for more material wealth in a failing economy. Listen to the cogs grind against each other, gasping for breath and clawing at the machinist, who flips the switch and oils the mechanisms as he sees fit. These are sounds of an individual being molded into an employee. Sincerely, Shay Hardacre, Clotting, President of Operations. No coast, no hope. See, we're making connections here. Chris is sending Korean Jade digital downloads to people. And Caleb, I hope that helps you. Korean Jade was one of the first noise things I got into through the Locust Leg imprint of Colloquial Sound Recordings released a tape by Korean Jade, and I was just instantly enthralled. So if you like electronic music, like I'm bad at listing like dancey electronic stuff that overlaps with it, but it's a good in between of harsh and beautiful, I feel. So there we are. So, folks, we're just going to leave Chris's email up there for a second. If you want, you can email Chris, and you might get some Korean Jade. Truly, one of the most interesting things to watch develop over the last few years has been seeing Korean Jade from like the last 6-7 years, watching how it's developed. Chris also makes music under a lot of aliases. I just feel like that's kind of the more noise adjacent, whereas like Gloga is more beautiful and soothing and also fantastic, worth your time. So that's the No Coast, No Hope package. Again, if you folks like noise, incredible label. A little on the harsher side, fewer of those things with shimmery synths, although the Heart of Palm project may be good for you if you like that. I love Heart of Palm, and Heart of Palm is on No Coast, No Hope, and it's beautiful, but also harsh in its own ways. Sticking with the noise theme, and Chris, you'll like this because this is a buddy of ours. I got this huge package here from one of my favorite human beings, somebody like who I love dearly. Hey, I'm glad to have you here. I'm glad you got a beer. What are we drinking tonight? This is hard to open, of course. So this package came from my dear friend Derek. Derek runs a noise label out of Portland, Oregon called Unseen Force. Derek has been a good friend, a believer in me and what I do, and also an artist with a commitment to doing his own thing at any cost. Dragon's Milk White Stout. I've never heard of the White Stout. I feel like I've had the Dragon's Milk Stout. Is that a new iteration of it? Okay, this package has way more stuff in here than I expected. What the hell, man? Wow. I realize I just may have flashed an address to you. If you see an address on YouTube and you're watching this later, it's an old address that I don't live at anymore. Do not mail anybody at that address. Thanks. Send me mail there and enjoy it going to nobody. Wow, Derek, if you're watching this, I'm speechless. There are like 6, 7, 8, 9. Derek just sent me like 10 cassettes and like a bunch, like some zines. Like, wow. What? Derek, dude, what the hell? Thank you so much, but also like this is too much. I don't even know where to begin with this. You know what? We begin at the beginning, and this is what's in my hand. Dissociate. Again, I haven't heard any of these. I'm not going to be able to tell you what they are, but they're pretty, and we're going to look at them. As you can see, hey, Caleb, thanks for coming here. Glad to have you. We will, Black Metal and Brews is about bringing people together, so thanks for being here. I hope that you enjoy something that you found today. There's the little tape thing. Because we're not reselling this on Discogs and we're here to enjoy, we're going to just use our fingernail to break that. So, look at that. That is so cool looking. And also, props that you can actually tell which side is the A side and the B side. And again, much like Shay, Derek has a fascinating sense of design and space in the layouts of his releases with Unseen Force. Wow. That's so cool. Like, this is beautiful. I'm really excited to hear this. Recorded in Vancouver, Washington in 2017 to 2018. I wonder who this is, if it's somebody I know, maybe. I mean, probably not. I'm not cool enough to know a lot of the noise folk, but I like a lot of the noise stuff that they do anyway. We don't have to be friends, right? There we are. Boy, yeah, it's so good to have you all here on a Friday night. Seasons are changing. It's getting a little cooler. I'm still mercilessly uncool, and I'm glad you're here. Unexamined and Mass Marriage. Wow. So this is gonna be cool. These are two really rad artists. If you haven't heard either of them, now you can hear them both. Unexamined, Mass Marriage. Little simpler design on this one. Oh, dude. Getting hit by a hurricane? How's that going? And Tucson, dude. I spent a night in Phoenix once while I was moving cross country, and it was like not even spring. Like it was early March, like about to be spring, and it was still hot as sin. Mercilessly Uncool Bull Gang. I mean, look, don't take pride in being on my level. You wanna do better for yourself than I have. Jesus, by the time you get to my age, Kira, please do something good. So unexamined message, that cool see-through cassette. Ooh, I've unhinged this thing. It's not broken. I just, in my excitement, popped it right apart. I'll pop it right back in. There we go. Look at that. Look at these clever little booklets. It's sneaky. It opens up like that. So look at this. Wow. It's really beautiful. Let's see what it says in here. Is there anything? It's recording a source from a session with assistance from Derek. Oh, this is from 2015. Oh. Okay. Oh, that's the unexamined stuff. Wow. I'm so intrigued by this. Ooh, we're doing the weather check. 95 degrees in Tucson. 57 in Western Pennsylvania. 98 in Phoenix. Jeez, guys, I feel for you. Yeah, I don't know what it is here. I'm in Queens, New York, and it's whatever it is. I'm wearing a t-shirt. But, I saw one of my friends today and they were wearing a sweater, so it can go either way. Boy, I don't even know what's going on here. So, but this is like some cool transparency stuff. Look at this. I'm trying to read what this says. It's called Ellery Everett hallucinate loop, maybe. Hard. It's really hard to. It's hard for me to see. It's even hard to show you. Just fucking trust me on that. 72 in Portland. Jeez. Yeah. Gosh, we got folks everywhere. Okay, look at this. Look at this booklet. Like there's layers and layers and layers to it. I don't even know how to show it to you because it's what it is. This is really cool. Like again, even if you're not a noise person, but you just like design, there's a lot going on here. I'm in Austin, Texas. Look at you being so cool. All these hit places. I'm not in a hit place at all. That's beautiful. Again, I'm realizing I'm gonna be showing you shit all night at this rate. What is this? This one says combined operations. When somebody is a friend like Derek, we forgive the bizarre oversized packaging. Actually, I'm a sucker for oversized packaging. The problem is I'm a sucker for oversized packaging and consequently have too many oversized tapes. I think if I only had like 2, it'd be fine. But because I love this stuff, I end up with so many. Tell me about unhip places. What's uncool? And how do you like it? 61 in Philly. Boy, what's it like in Philly? Has the tape stopped? No, it is still playing, but silent. I should rectify this and give you guys some music, huh? So this, you can see all there is to see without me even taking the tape out. It's just kind of that like red textured thing here. Kind of cool. Really, I mean, it's hard for me to see. It's going to be really hard to show you. But this combined operations. It's like a zine album. Oh, cool. Oh, sick. It's a compilation. Okay. North American Heavy Electronics. Derek gets good people together here. So we have, well, if you can't read for some reason, I'll explain to you. We have striations, Eastern Grain, Straber, Purity of Essence, Lace, Secular Identity, and Nod. Some real heavy hitters and some that I don't know as well, which I think that's my favorite thing about compilations is the ability to discover something new alongside something you already know that you love, and it's that sense of community. That's really cool. I mean, as with all these things, I'm excited to dig into this. And Derek really brings people together. As somebody who loves noise, but is I am not a proper noise person. I'm not a community veteran, and I know that noise has its share of gatekeeping too. Derek has always made me feel so welcome as I explore the world of noise and experimental music, and made me feel like I belonged and like I was part of it. I mean, I'm not making the music, but like my understanding was enough. And that's really cool. I think that elitism has no place in any sort of underground scene. Kira, living in the middle of nowhere or living in an uncool place sometimes brings out the best in us because honestly, there's a lot more chance to figure out who you are outside of other expectations. I said, get the fuck out whenever you're ready to, but I wouldn't worry too much about it. The UPM comp from Fluid to Mall, I don't think I got that one. I know the one you're talking about. I got a tape from them recently, the Couple Beulah tape, but I don't have any others in terms of their recent output. Yeah, that printing is great, isn't it? I'm not on whatever drug I need to be to read this. It's clearly a tape by Negation called Solar Tongue or Torque. Solar Torque. Like, look at this. Purity of Essence. I don't know if it's a Doctor Strangelove reference or not. So Trent Reznor, yeah. I mean, well, Trent Reznor's from Cleveland, isn't he? Or he's probably from another nowhere and claims Cleveland. And yeah, Tom's from Wilkes-Barre. And Tom is a sweetheart. I love Tom. Planning for Burial. If you folks don't know, Planning for Burial is very lovely music. A very lovely person that makes it. Yeah. No, let's get wasted and then we can read this. I'm flying. I'm sliding off the world. Again, very, very cool design. Yeah. I feel like most of Pennsylvania is nowhere Pennsylvania, right? And I'm saying that not as a slight, but as I feel like most of the folks I meet from Pennsylvania are from a, not a city, from a more rural place, and it's different. Like, I mean, I grew up in a mountain town in California, so I'm certainly not knocking nowheres. I'm from nowhere. Cost. I know this one. It's something I'm actually familiar with. I haven't heard this one, but Cost is I want to say Danny from Rohit. I believe. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I don't know what this is, but that's what I think. Again, crazy. Look at the design. Does it say Wet Specimen? Something like it. That's cool. I have a friend whose band is called Wet Specimens. So maybe they could, do a collaboration or something. Boy, and lots of people I love are shouted out in the thanks here. This is cool. I'm trying not to dwell too long on any of these because I realize I've got so much shit to show you guys, and I don't want to make this too long for anybody's sake. Yeah, nowhere Pennsylvania is beautiful, and like nowhere is usually beautiful. Because that's otherwise why would people be there? You're there for a reason. And I realize when you're born somewhere and grow up there, you're there because you happen to be there. But somebody came there for a reason at some point. Boy, fitting to get a Plagues tape in 2020. Again, another translucent case. Another pop-out booklet. I really like the way these J cards are, where it's like instead of folding, usually they just fold out like this, but then these ones also have an extra, so it's really kind of clever. And these are a lot of old recordings that are being newly released. That's kind of neat. Derek's really harvesting the back catalogs. Look at that. That's some really neat design. I'm just gonna hold that up for a second so you can take that in. I've heard some Plague stuff. It's pretty fucking good. So excited to hear this. And would you believe it, but I have many more from this package alone, and then I have more packages. Boy, here's a name I haven't seen in a while. God Cage. God Cage. This tape is called Morphine Angel. We got like some kind of collage-y noise artwork as the cover. Now, I may be wrong. God Cage passed away years ago. If I'm not mistaken, am I? Nope. Yeah. Rest in peace. So either I've got it wrong and God Cage is somebody who's close to the fella, but no, this is him. So Stephen Page. I was online acquaintances with the fella very loosely. We were not close, but looks like this is a posthumous release from God Cage. So rest in peace, dude. You were young, 22 years old. Jesus fucking Christ, that's horrible. Definitely gonna sit with this. We're not going to comment on Godhead. Godhead is in a league of their own. Remember when they sang Amazing Grace? You know, it's responsible of you to acquire less junk in the mail with the child on the way. But also, yeah, as you said, you should keep good art coming through your life because that enriches. I was talking to someone today about the importance of my father introducing me to like Devo when I was a little guy, my mom playing Nine Inch Nails when I was a little guy, and all that stuff. That's really important. I'm sure I still would have grown into the asshole I am today without that help, but now I can share a love of music with my parents. And you. Okay, so now I've just got a couple more things that are in, again, ridiculously oversized cases, and I'm really into it, though. This one says, like, Valiate, maybe? And Derek, if you're watching this, I'm really sorry. Palliate. Oh, this is this new soft fantasy. I'm very excited by this one. Again, it's kind of got like a Band-Aid sort of sticker thing holding it together. We're not doing this to sell it on Discogs. We are here to connect with good art. And soft fantasy. Boy, this makes me so happy. If I recall, soft fantasy is my friend Lo. And I'm very, very happy to hear what has been done. Wow. This is cool. Look at just the intensity of that. Chris, I hope you never get Sarah Beth pregnant. I mean, actually, if that's your goal, I hope that you do. But Jesus God, you are toying with powers that no human should have. Boy, so this is really exciting to me. That is some really cool design. 2 cassettes. Can't wait to hear them, find out what's on them. And it's got some really cool inserts with pictures of the artist. You know, it's proper contrast along with art from the artist. I'm assuming the artist from the artist. Unseen friends, if you watch this later, please correct me. So, yeah, like cool art stuff. Look at this. Look at this. That's neat. Total power. Fuck yeah. And sentiments displayed on this channel may or may not reflect those of myself. I think that's really cool. Not that I'm any less excited to hear any of these, but this one in particular, I'm really looking forward to. Fair enough. I mean, maybe you could play the Palm Tree song, you know, for your baby to be. I'm sure that your child would love to hear about taking a tree branch. It's already been done. There we are. That, and we've got just one more tape, and then I'm gonna kind of glance at this zine for a minute here. Or zines, it looks like plural. And again, oh god, my vision. Does this say Drone Armada? Drone Armada. I have number 8 of 45, and I need new glasses. Ooh boy. I think there might be a cassette tape in here. Oh yeah, okay. Romeo and Rebecca. Now, oh gosh, I may have seen this artist live. There was somebody I saw when I lived in Portland who had the name Romeo in his Harsh Noise project name. I don't remember. It could be this guy. And if it's him, I really enjoyed his set, so that's cool. God damn it. Again, we've got something sealed with a sticker here. I'm going to try not to tear anything just because this is like paper, stuck to paper, and I want to actually take this all in. So we're going to be very, very loving as we open this. You can see a little bit of that scuffing damage. Oh, this is like a full-on poster fold out. Oh, jeez. Have I committed myself to something that's too much? I might have. What have I done? I'm sure that's... It looks really neat, and I'm trying so hard not to let it get out of hand right now. At some point in the future, we'll look at this more closely, but for now, I'm going to tape it right back up and put it back in its box. This looks really neat. So, Drone Armada, Romeo and Rebecca, Unseen Force, 2020. First batch from this label in years. I believe most of the stuff's still available. I know it was selling pretty fast, but you just fucking get it. If you like noise, it's good. And yeah, Derek is committed to that Xerox addict shit, but it's done in a way where it's like, okay, you're part of the tradition rather than just aping somebody else's ideas. Like there's so much subtlety and depth to what he does. I'm very, very pleased to have an Unseen Force release in my life. I almost wore my Unseen Force shirt today. I'm glad I didn't because I would have been overkill on the Unseen Force here. And dude is sending me posters for shows. A lot of posters for shows. Oh, I'm so happy I can decorate my new home with all this stuff. Oh, dude, this one with Crow in Lower Tower. What? That must have been a sick show. Crow is an old friend of mine from when I lived in Tampa, and he still lived in Tampa. Look at this. Oh, that is cool. I'm going to have to get a frame for this. This one goes going on my new wall. Look at that. Just, Okay, and then here's this. This is for me later. I'm gonna have a little one-on-one time with this and just take it in, but I'm not gonna show you the dozens and dozens of pages of work in here. But if you've enjoyed anything that you saw in this just a little bit, you should check out Unseen Force, a truly stellar label run by a really kind, beautiful human being. The thick zine is, dude. What is this? Okay, I've been asked what is the thick zine called. Your guess is as good as mine. I don't think there's any words anywhere on or in this. I don't even know which way is up, front, back. I think that's on purpose. But if I find out, I'll let you know. Or, I mean, I know Chris, you in particular can just contact Derek directly. But I'll find out and let the people who are watching this know. Because again, I think Derek's art is really cool and the world deserves more of it. I have two more things. I'm saving. It may not be the best, but I think it's possibly the most hype for last. This thing, I have no idea what this is. It's a record. I'm not expecting any records. I don't think. And I'm not just being facetious. And it says it came from Terrible Merch. I don't know what the fuck Terrible Merch is. Again, I mean this truly. Which means that I'm going to have to, in my next therapy appointment, contend with my shopping addiction. Or I can just lie to my therapist. I truly don't know what this is. I'm sure that when I see what's in it, I'll be like, oh yes, that thing. But off the top of my head, no bells are ringing. No idea what Terrible Merch is. Oh! Because sometimes we order things and it takes a while. And also, sometimes you get a record mailer for a 12-inch that holds a 7-inch. And I am really excited by this. So this is something I ordered probably in June from the band Algiers. Can the sub bass speak? What's it say? It all comes around again. Zao, I mean, that is formative shit, so I get that. That's awesome. So Algiers is a fantastic band. I'm not even going to try to describe their music. It is just transcendent. They're a rock group. They are not a metal group. If you look Algiers up because of this, and you want them to be death metal or something, they're not. What they are is they are passionate, they are urgent, they are intense, they are vital, they are human. And I love what they do. They were supposed to play Roadburn this year, so if it gives you an idea, they're a fascinating group. I'm really excited to have the 7-inch. I think I bought this on a Bandcamp day to help the band out and also to help myself to cool new stuff in my life. Can you read that at all? Not really. That's okay. And then, yeah. It's a face over or a hand over a face. And we're being like, oh. So, very excited to have this. No working turntable setup in the new spot just yet. This is one of many reasons why I need one, though, isn't it? I love a good record. And the new Algiers album that came out this year, There Is No Year. I mean, talk about unintentionally prophetic album titles. I think this year didn't happen. I think that I died and slipped into a coma or something. Because 2020 has just been fucking unreasonably bizarre and unpleasant. But there's been a lot of new beginnings too, haven't there? Imagine the new beginning we'll get if somebody who has COVID right now, one specific individual, succumbs. Finally, we're an hour in. I've got the last piece of mail here. Somebody who is watching this, maybe more than one somebody, is going to be very upset with me, very jealous of me, because this is a special thing. And Chris, this came from Austin, Texas. Didn't come from you. I need some mail from you soon. Let's talk. This came from a label called Night Rhythms. And Night Rhythms has been releasing collections of cassettes from Old Nick. I didn't get the first one. It sold out in like minutes. So did the second one, but I got it. Collection 2 from Old Nick contains 3 of their cassettes, including some of my favorite material they've released. This is an actual photograph of Nick himself. Here we can see this limited edition cassette box set made possible by Night Rhythms under exclusive licensing from Grimestone Records. It is not Grimstone. Stop calling it Grimstone. All artwork by Droll Meadow except album covers. I have number 26 of 50. If you have not yet heard Old Nick, you should. The 3 Old Nick cassettes contained within: Haunted Loom. Haunted Loom. Very exciting album. Calling it an album might be a stretch, but you know. It's very good. We have Witch of the Northern Ville. This is cool as fuck. Is it black synth? It's not black synth. It is like a synthy, bizarre, weirdo black metal. It is a gorgeous box set. And Not a Captain, thank you. Yeah, it is weird stuff. It's so cool. And thanks for watching on Twitch. I'm still learning about Twitch and how it's all working out, but I'm glad to have somebody watching on Twitch too. Folks, if you're on YouTube and you prefer Twitch, you can watch me there. If you're on Twitch and you prefer YouTube, you can watch me there. You keep hearing Sebi talk about them. Yeah, no, Old Nick is cool. Yeah, I don't know if the band actually formed in 2020. I think they may have formed in 2019, but they've put out like more than one release a month so far this year. And it's unlike a lot of artists that go for quantity, they actually still retain the quality somehow. And then Curse of the Lockmaster. And you can see they show you how long the tapes are. They're not long, 13:21. The longest of the 3 is 18 and a half minutes. These are not long albums, but what they are really good. Really good, really weird. And in fact, you know what? Yeah, I'm really excited to have this Old Nick thing. I already bought all their stuff on Bandcamp, but they you know, they deserve the support of me having their stuff on tape too. So I'm just gonna put on Old Nick. We're gonna go to Haunted Loom, which is one of the ones I've got, and we're gonna listen to a song. Yeah, look at this. Can you see my phone? This song is called "Fuck 17th Century." There is liquor in this house. It belongs to my roommate.
You're not wrong. I love that. This is definitely a. You're either gonna love it or not love it. I personally like. I grew up watching Adam's Family. I grew up with the Munsters. I like ridiculous stuff. Chris, do a shot. You want to come online and do a shot? You want me to send you the invite code, Chris? You can do a shot. Doesn't then they also drop into it and they got like the legit kind of galloping ass black metal riff. Kira, your mom is cool. I don't know if you think that she's cool, but your mom is probably pretty cool. Next time, I'll buy a bottle of liquor. I don't own any liquor, and I'm too new here to be like, hey roommate, give me liquor so I can YouTube about it. Look, just because your mom is a cataholic doesn't mean there's anything wrong. Some people are addicted to alcohol. Your mom is addicted to cats. It happens. I live with. There's two cats in my apartment. There may be a cataholic in here too. Like, it could be worse. My mom likes Limp Bizkit a lot. Metal Kid, you're sending that to me in an email, and let me know who you are, because I get a lot of emails, and it's easy to forget. It's like to say like, hey, this is Metal Kid from YouTube chat. Uh, Whenever you record your demo, I want to hear it. Being an ex-Catholic is I can't imagine. I grew up Jewish, and I do not have a particularly strong tie to any sort of faith. No ties whatsoever. In fact, I'm just me doing what I do, living my life, not being much of a Jew. Yeah. So I have now just made a mess of boxes and other mail junk on my bed in my new home. I'll put this stuff away later, but like I don't want to get up. Like I'm sitting on memory foam right now for fuck's sake. It's not easy to just like get up and move stuff around. I'm pretty sure that there's going to be a memory divot of my butt, in this bed for a little while. Uh, what are we doing, Chris? I'm afraid. I need an adult. Somebody rang Chris in. Like, are you gonna come do a shot? Do you want to chug a White Claw? It's weird. Like after I'm done doing this tonight, I'm going to walk. This is how I walk apparently, with my fingers sideways in the air. I'm gonna walk like a mile up the road to this place where Burdan from Uniform is DJing tonight. I said it at the beginning of this, but not everybody was watching. So like I'm not getting terribly intoxicated anyway because I'm me and I don't ever really drink that much. I like to drink, but I like to enjoy it, not regret it. But I'm gonna go watch my buddy DJ, which is a really weird thing to think during a pandemic. But it's an outside space. It's in my neighborhood, and they're serving pizza, and Burdan will be there. Really, it's about the pizza and bird, and I'm not even sure I'll drink at it because I'm drinking now, having a beer, a glorious beer. 16 ounces of low alcohol beer, really messing me up tonight. That's 5% alcohol. That's enough, right? You hear the police coming for me. I'm talking about alcohol consumption on the internet. It's a dangerous prospect. But this is such a noisy new home. It's cool though, cause like there's like in the middle of the night, there's this dude who's been hanging out outside. I'm gonna assume that something isn't right in his world. A couple nights in a row now, between like 1 and 3 in the morning, I hear this man outside making noises somewhere between Yoda and Chewbacca. He's just like out there, and it's like the first time you hear it, because you'll be asleep or half asleep, you just hear. It's like, oh, what was that? That was alarming. And you hear more of it. It's like, oh, somebody is like sick or something bad is happening. And I heard somebody open the door and be like, "Hey, you okay?" And somebody be like, "Oh yeah. It's cool, it's cool." Hear the door shut again out there, and then dude goes back to just going like, "Harr." So I've got like a werewolf somewhere downstairs and outside. Uh, okay, Chris, you're gonna do a shot. I'll do a pull of beer. Kira, I don't even know if Sheets exists around here, but for my friends in PA, which there have been a few Pennsylvania viewers tonight, so there you go. You are a good friend. So we are now dropping the link. Oh my goodness, we got a rare one here. I am so happy to see you in here, Garrett. Welcome, howdy. Indeed, had I this link, ooh, that link just went to all of my chats. Chris gets dibs because Chris is going to do a shot with me while I chug the last of my beer. But if you're watching this and you want to be live on YouTube with me, if you click that link, you can broadcast your own dumbassery to the internet as I do on occasions such as this. You can be like seen next to my beautiful face in my beautiful new home. Like that Talking Heads song. This is not your beautiful house. I am not your beautiful wife. How the fuck did you get here? Could be fun. Yeah, I figure we'll hang like this for a while. Kira is trying to connect. Kira, I will bring you live in just a minute. I'm gonna bring Chris live for a second first because Chris is gonna do a shot, and then Kira, you're gonna be part of it. In fact, you know what, Kira and Chris, we're all here.
Hey, what's up?
Hi, Chris. I love your shirt. I almost wore that same shirt today. Wait, are you both wearing Bathory shirts? I love you. This is wonderful.
Meant to be, Benjamin.
So Kira, are you gonna do a swig with us while Chris is doing a shot, but I don't have a shot. You wanna throw back? I think your mic is off, Kira, and that's completely fine. You don't owe us the microphone, but should you wish to,
Mic on though. Turn the mic on. Yeah, you'll get it. Hold on.
Yeah.
I'm not even ready yet, so hold on.
All right. I don't have you muted on my end, if that's any help.
I can't hear you either.
Yeah, I hear you, Chris.
Thank you.
I love hearing you. It's always a good thing.
I'm trying to find some like music to play while we do it.
Yeah, I know. Like, I wish that my Bathory shirt was more accessible. It's across the room. I see where it is, but like, give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna go put my Bathory shirt on, and then we're gonna do this.
Because I feel like nobody has this one, so that's why I got this one.
Yeah, nobody has that shirt.
Nobody has this one.
Nobody's ever seen that shirt before. All right. Oh shit. Oh my god. I'm old, Chris. My body hurts from sitting on this memory foam the way I've been sitting on it.
Same age, you old bitch. Get it.
What?
Sorry, I'm petting my cat. She
You're
won't
not
shut
allowed
up.
to pet your cat, Chris.
You're the professional streamer here, Ben. I'm just trying to keep up.
Yeah, we're very professional.
Kira, is the mic working yet? What is that? Does that work? Okay.
Yeah, I'm the professional streamer. I think I just accidentally kicked myself out of my own broadcast somehow while I was looking across the bed. So, yeah, nobody has this shirt.
Yours, like, the letters look a lot more spaced out than mine.
This is fatter. God, I've had this thing for like 16 years. It's probably, I'm sure it's a bootleg.
Mine is. Definitely.
Mine doesn't have the red in the eyes like yours does. And on the back, it's got like the side evil, side darkness shit. Yeah, we got the same back at least.
Okay.
But is yours a Bloodfire Death or a Hammerheart? I'm still not hearing you. Oh my gosh. There's no sound. You can type it in. That's okay. We're still
redo clicking on the link because it asks you. It prompts you. And then you'll do it.
okay. She's trying. We'll wait a second and bring her back. Oh, wait, yeah. Hell yeah.
Can you hear that?
Gently turn it up. Let's make this a dance party. We're gonna have techno while we battery.
It's a classic mix. Northern Exposure by Sasha and Digweed.
Okay. See, I know of
For everybody.
I know of Sasha Digweed, but I'm not on the level about it. Like when I would pick up Spin magazine in the early 2000s, and they'd do their coverage of like deep house that era.
Like all that shit.
They'd have like all these ads for like those chill electronic compilations around that time.
Yeah.
But I don't know if we're getting Kira back.
A lot of shit, but the good stuff always stands out. So.
All right, Kira's back. We're gonna try this again. We have sound with you.
I turned on my phone. You hear me now?
Yes, I hear. So glad to have you. You look great. You sound great. You're here.
I'm glad you got your
on my phone.
Streaming from.
Okay. So Chris is chugging a White Claw before doing a shot.
I'm not chugging White Claws. This guy have one.
And Garrett, thank you. That was on. So for those not aware of what Garrett's referring to, a 22-year-old rocker pick on Instagram. I posted a picture on my personal Instagram of me when I was 22 with an old band, and I had like my fucking gnarly metal vest, and I hadn't bathed, and I had a huge ass bottle of beer because I was 22 and on tour. That's what you do.
That was a cool picture.
I'm 22 and at my house.
You know what? I mean, to be fair, in the year we're in, you shouldn't be anywhere other than your house.
Kieran, you know how shitty I feel about my fucking eyebrows as soon as you join the stream? It's a power move.
Yeah, no, like
Listen, I had a breakdown about a week ago, and I shaved them off because I had been thinking about it for like 2 months, and then I did it, and I hated it, so I drew them on anyway, but I have to do it now because I do not like how I look with no eyebrows.
They don't look drawn up right now.
No, you are rocking it. Like, and I will say, I used to wear makeup every day. You've executed that in a way where I, after years of practice, could not dreamed of. So,
Oh, thank you.
you got that shit.
All right, are we all ready?
Are we ready to drink a little? Chris, you is that bullet?
The label here in a minute. Some Bullet bourbon. What beer is that?
Extra gold.
It's cheap as fuck. It's like $5.79 for a 12-pack at Sheetz.
Holy shit! So it's like Keystone level.
But it's like it's not bad. Is the thing like people?
No,
I feel like
Keystone's
people before they try it, they're gonna shut up. But then they try it and they're like, oh, it's like not bad for being less than $6 12-pack.
Oh yeah, Chris, we're gonna move to rural Pennsylvania and just drink a bunch of shitty cheap beer.
That wouldn't change.
My friend calls it Old Faithful.
I love it. All right, let's do this. Chris, you got your shot? Cheers.
Got it. Cheers, everybody.
All right, that's the last of me. Now we're on to water, and we're getting a sneak peek of Chris's OnlyFans right now.
That cost me money, by the way, so thank you.
Yeah. Look, don't feel like a snob drinking.
Question from the shirt, by the way.
Yeah.
What?
Kira, can you repeat?
To answer your question from earlier, Hammerheart shirt.
Yeah. Okay, I realized that after seeing out that Hammerheart is possibly my favorite heavy metal album of all time.
It's fucking killer. Like,
am I a dick if I've only heard Hammerheart like twice?
No, just we all have different points of exposure. That was the first Bathory album I heard.
I'm just the person that puts Bloodfire Death on just right away.
It's a great album. There's no wrong way to go. But like, I was 18 and I didn't have, I mean, Chris, you're my age. When we were 18, the internet was a thing, but it wasn't the way it is now. I didn't have a computer at all, but I had an iPod. I went to a friend's house and he put a bunch of black metal in my iPod for me.
Dude, that happened too. Like, people did that shit.
Yeah, Hammerheart was one of the records that he put on it for me. And I remember was working, I worked with my mom. My mom's a landscaper. So I'm like outside, it's summer, it's shitty. I'm mowing some millionaire's lawn. A shitty little iPod with headphones. And Fire and Ice comes on. So I've got the whole iPod thing random. And this song just like, Chris, you'll listen to it after and you'll understand. It comes in with just like this massive drumming, just like it sounds like you have entered the hall of the gods, and like there's just then the guitar's finally coming in. There's like this whole choir of voices, like but like also, and it was the biggest sounding thing I'd ever heard.
Have you ever had that moment where like the whatever you're listening to like completely syncs up with what you're doing?
Yeah.
Like, I remember like driving through like a snowstorm on I-35 like through Iowa, and I turned on fucking like At the Heart of Winter by Immortal, and I was like, this is
that'll happen. That's for me, like I remember the first time I heard Ulver's Perdition City, which is one of my favorite albums of all time. Again, same friend had put it on my iPod, and I had heard some of their other stuff, but I put that album on just because I was curious about it because I really liked some of the other stuff I'd heard. And I threw on this album on a kind of, it was like in that period, like late November, cold, rainy night. I'm walking home from a friend's house, and that album is cold, rainy night music. And just remember feeling enchanted by the world around me while I'm listening to this album that's basically just about these like navigating cities by night. It was, I was 19 and that sticks with me. I mean, I'm sitting here like 14 years later, remembering that so vividly walking through,
it says, remember it.
Yeah.
Like I like Prurient, but I don't remember what the fuck I was.
No, that's like it's cool to when stuff lines up. And so we've got Eric, who cannot finish Hammerheart. That's fair. They don't have to be better. I just think it's great. I also think it's an imperfect album that I just love so much that it doesn't have to be perfect.
I also like bands where everybody has a different favorite. Like that's the cool thing about Bathory is like everybody has a favorite.
Yeah. That's the thing, like, if you were to tell me pretty much anyone like their first 5 albums is your favorite, I'd say that's probably a great idea. That's a good pick,
Yeah.
If you,
some people even call it Bathory, and those people are wrong and stupid, but they have a right to be that way, So
Lord.
or what was that?
Rat Lord.
Okay, my favorite. So I've had this shirt for a very long time, and I ran into, I was unemployed for a while when I was 21 because the economy fucking collapsed in 2008, and so I'm just like bumming around downtown, my hometown, California. I run into my friend Andrea. She is wearing this shirt. I am wearing this shirt. We are stoked. It's like 1 p.m. We go to a bar. The bartender is like, "Was there a concert recently?" And we're like, "No, this guy's dead." And the bartender looks at us. She's like, "Bat horny?"
be a better name, honestly.
This bartender's coming to, she's and she's like being really cool. She's like, "Is the band called Bat Horny?" She's like, "Yes, I'm listening to Bat Horny." like
check
sex dungeon shit.
In a heartbeat, you would check out a band called Bat Horny. You listen to a band called Old Nick.
Look, I am all about the self-own. I mean, I'm me.
Dude, I still listen to Compressor. Like, it's okay.
I've got a Cold Chamber shirt about 5 feet from me. Like,
there you go.
Do you guys know about Lumpy?
I'm sorry?
Oh.
It glitched on my end for a second.
Let me go somewhere where my internet doesn't blow.
Okay.
Yeah, let me go.
We'll see you in a minute.
Don't forget to plug in the 20.8K modem.
Do you guys know about the band Lumpy and the Dumpers?
I've heard the name.
Too. Never listen to. I think the name makes me not want to.
No, it doesn't make you want to listen to it. But it's like really fucking good grimy hardcore. Like,
Okay. You'd have to be grimy with a name like that.
It sounds stupid, and like I don't particularly telling English people that I like that band because it's such a stupid name, but like it's fucking super sick, grimy ass hardcore.
I will check it out then. And I just got look at this comment.
A guy that likes a band that's called that.
Virgin Goat Penis versus Chad Bat Horny. That makes my night. Fucking Goat Penis. What a horrible band name.
Or Meth Goat. That's another one.
What? Meth Goat?
Meth Goat's another one.
What about Goat Goat?
That's got to be a thing already.
I think it is. I'm looking this up right now. Goat. Please go to band.
The goat obsession is like similar to the werewolf obsession, but less racist.
well, because the goat obsession means I smoke weed. The werewolf obsession means I hate people that don't look like me.
Right, and I'm like, hey, in case anybody wanted to know if I'm Polish, I definitely am. Okay, I know nobody asked, but I'm Polish as fuck. Okay.
I wonder who you're talking about right now, Chris. I wonder who you're talking about.
Gee, I wonder who I'm talking about. Could be a couple people.
Racist ass noise.
I was wearing this shirt under my work shirt today, which is just a t-shirt, and then I was wearing a black flannel over it. and my job has instituted like weird rules about how like we can only wear like solid black jackets or sweaters, whatever.
Yeah.
And the one front desk person told me that I can't wear flannels because they have a pattern, and you know she's just like relaying information because she doesn't want to get yelled at, right?
Yeah, no, nobody that ever actually has to tell you the rules is the person that decided on that bullshit, which is the worst part.
Right. And I said to her, I was just like, okay, well, you know, they can tell me to take it off, but underneath my flannel is fucking this, so they can take the pick.
Yeah. Well, it's one day.
Get a job where you wear scrubs every day.
Where you wear what?
Scrubs every day.
Is that you, Chris?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm gonna sing TLC for you.
With the whole thing about like bands that you or like albums or whatever that you like find at like a perfect moment where it just like fits. Like me, where I'm at mentally, like my friend showed me the band The Magnetic Fields like probably like a year or so ago, but I started listening to them more, and like 16, like the first like 10 songs of 69 Love Songs right now is just like where I'm at, and it's like it's really surreal how much just a sad tiny gay man from Boston is just like channeling all of my emotions right now.
Stephen Merritt is just it's fucking wrong. Have you seen he did one of those KEXP performances from the bathroom at KEXP. So he's sitting there in the toilet with his acoustic guitar playing songs. And it's brilliant. I love him so much.
Magnetic Fields. I also have to write Lumpy in the Dumpers. Hold on.
Yeah. Chris, I'm going to make you a playlist of Magnetic Fields. I'm obsessed for years. The song specifically, I mean, there's a lot of good songs, but the song I Have the Moon is one of the most play on repeatable songs I've ever heard in my life. It is a perfect 3-minute space country pop song, and I don't use the word country in a good context ever, and it somehow is in this context.
Yeah. Okay, I trust you.
Also, Homeboy has the deepest fucking voice I've ever heard, like in that Michael Gira way, but without sexual assault allegations. And I'm not a
is like
man, and he could tuck me in.
I think your voice gets deeper with every allegation.
Why
he sounds.
Goddamn the Sun now. Goddamn the Sun.
Goddamn the Sun? What about it?
I said I don't believe in the sun is how I listen to Goddamn is the Sun now without listening to Goddamn the Sun.
Yeah. No, that's actually a really good point. But yeah, no.
Subject of like that are such bangers, you just have to play them more than once. Heart of the Party by Severed Heads is probably my number one. Like that is the like I can listen to that song 10 times in a row.
And Severed Heads is
watch RoboCop beginning to end and then start it over and watch it again. Heart of the Party is my RoboCop songs. Like,
how many times have you seen RoboCop?
Hundreds.
Kira, how many times have you seen RoboCop?
Never seen RoboCop.
Chris. So, nothing else. You know, there's a part where RoboCop shoots a guy in the dick. That's all that matters. RoboCop shoots a guy in the dick.
He does. It's actually a great.
No, I saw RoboCop when I was a child. I don't remember it, and I was told in my 20s that I should see it again and that it was actually good by people who said that about a lot of things I didn't like, and I actually liked RoboCop. RoboCop is good.
Watch it with this in perspective because I'm such a nerd that I'm commentary from Paul Verhoeven on it. Paul Verhoeven whole metaphor for that movie is that it's the story of Christ. So watch it, thinking about that.
Okay. Fair enough. So we've been asked if we've school EP. I know that a friend recommended Dame to me earlier this year, and I looked it up and I enjoyed it. I do not know if I know that EP, but I remember it kind of being a ripper. Like the shit I heard, it was like surprisingly high energy.
My poser list.
Here, yeah, Chris, I'll put it back up on the screen for you to read.
No, I got it. Dame.
I'm slower than you, so I'm assuming that you're slow like me.
I worked all day. Don't worry about it.
Well, look at you go. You got a job. I got a disability.
I'd rather have that.
Oh, fuck you. I don't, you know.
Right. No, that's unfair. It's a bad, but I really fucking hate my
club unemployment right now.
Rational place when I said that. Okay.
I mean, to be fair, I've hated every job I've had, so I actually fully understand. I don't like the lack of income from disability.
You know,
but I don't miss
that you reviewed and like you read that thing. Okay, like both know where he works, and it's like that must really suck.
Yeah. Holy shit! Like, well, and it's funny because I didn't know.
Oh.
I didn't know where Shay worked until reading that. I'm like, okay, I know where Shay works. I mean, to be fair, I've had a lot of jobs that evoke that, but you know exactly what it is. And I think that's the thing. Like, that is why clotting. We're gonna do product placement. Clotting really fucking conveys that the tedium, grinding misery of going to a job that you know means nothing and that you mean nothing to them. I mean, Kira, that's been an ongoing concern for you.
So bad.
Fuck a job. Fuck a boss.
I'll try to stay strong.
Yeah, but no, I mean, like, so, like, I'm grateful that I can get paid to have a life-changing disease, but I'd rather be able to have a little more control and autonomy. You know, something in between the two.
I love Shay. I gave him a shout out on the new Korean Jade. You have to listen really closely to hear it, but it's at the end of one of the songs.
Maybe like, I love you, Shay. Is that
Shay, how? Love you. Yeah, it's kind of like that. Yeah.
Did you like get Mickey Mouse to come and say hello?
You know, I have him on retainer, so I could have.
I mean, I know Disneyland is his shit. So I mean, like, if you.
I love Shay, but what's Goofy? Female counter Goofy's friend.
Goofy has a girlfriend. Goofy has a child, so Goofy has had sex.
It's the typical Disney thing. They just make Goofy again, but they put a bow on it.
Goofette?
Goofette?
I don't fucking. There's not a female Goofy. I'm Googling this right now.
I love Shay, but he's definitely jerked off to Goofette at least once. Okay, and I love him. I don't like.
There's not a lady Goofy.
Dude, yeah, I feel like there is.
No, I just googled it. There's not.
What the world?
There's like there's Donald and Daisy Duck. There's Mickey and Minnie Mouse, and Goofy is a single father just trying to find his way in the world, dude.
Don't make me feel bad, Ben.
Fuck off! Like, this is horrible. Goofette.
Goofette. Yeah. Anyway, at the end of
Speaking of like gender bent
speech program, and it says like Xerox flowers because I thought it was cool that he put flowers on the Xerox machine. Kira, I'm sorry for interrupting.
Kira, go ahead.
No, you're fine. See, I'm like the queen of like reverting back to old conversations. But like speaking of gender bending, Goofy specifically, like.
Oh, this is about to get wrong.
Being trans, like the thing about so I get like really intense dysphoria about my voice, but like changing your voice and feminizing your voice is like a very long process that I have not fully decided to go through yet. And Stephen Merritt is within my vocal range. So like learning his songs on guitar is very good for me because like I can sing those songs and like be very comfortable with singing those songs.
Yeah.
Because like I can get into that deeper range. And like some of those songs are so much fucking fun to play. Like Andrew and Drag is so much fun to play on guitar.
Only Girl I'll Ever Love. Oh, that's a perfect.
You did.
She does exist.
You did.
Amy's not a fag. The only girl I'll ever love is Andrew and Drag.
Chris, are you doing another shot? Okay. You know what? Give me a minute. I'm gonna get another beer. I'm just my buddy's DJing and I'm a terrible friend, but this is popping tonight. I'm having fun. I'm gonna grab a beer. I'll be right back, guys.
You don't have to admit this publicly if you don't want to. But have you ever listened to Dead Z in your life?
Are you asking me?
Dead Z?
Yeah, Dead Z.
Because Chris, you know why.
If we're talking about your voice doing amazing covers,
okay. So okay, Kira, there's the band Dead Sea. Dead Sea is the singer is the son of Cher and Greg Allman. He started this band in the late 90s, early aughts. It's kind of like a slower, dirgier, more typo negative-y version of the band Orgy. In other words, it's better. And his voice.
That's actually awesome. It's perfect.
Okay. But okay, the thing is, like, if you've heard Drab Majesty wishes they were see. I'm gonna say it.
Yeah, I can't get
I'm still mad about. Still so fucking mad about Drab Majesty.
Yeah, but okay.
I'm so mad about the whole situation.
Yeah, I mean, jokes aside, Drab Majesty reminded me of Dead Sea when I first heard that. Dead Sea is slow, beautiful, like 80s new wave inspired, heavy, grinding synth pop rock. It's very much of its time and place, like it was early 2000s, and it sounds like it. They were signed to the label run by Jonathan Davis from Korn. It sounds like it, but at the same time, it is so my shit still at the age of 33, just as much as it was when I was 15 or 16. It is brilliant music. And his voice, he has this perfect, beautiful, deep voice, much in the way that Stephen Merritt does, that it just kills me. And I'm so pissed off that, like, I have been given this voice that I have. Like, I can make death metal noises, but I cannot sing deeply like all of these silken wonders of the world. I will never be able to sing a Magnetic Field song the way I would like. I will never be able to do that stuff. Dead Sea is beautiful music. It's also very niche, and it may sound silly and dated, but it is wonderful.
Yeah, most of us discovered it.
I like shit that's so like I'll fuck with that probably.
Yeah, Kira, I'll link you to some of it.
Watch
and
the
I'm
music.
Here, I'll be back. You two talk because it sounds like you've got a lot to share.
Yeah, watch the music video for Key to Grammar. Like it's a amazing or fuck this. But yeah, band would be nothing without his vocals. His vocals make the whole band.
What's the song?
The Key to Gramercy Park. And it's funny because I have now been to, I can't get into it because you need the key. I have walked around Gramercy Park. And one of these days, because I have like a suit jacket that's kind of like his. One of these days, I'm going to do the full outfit and I'm going to go to Gramercy Park. And I'm just going to hop the fucking fence because you can't get in otherwise unless you're a millionaire. Dude,
when I met him, he was doing like a low rent casual version, but he still dresses like Dead Z style. Like he came out of the bus,
yeah,
t-shirt, and he had a blue like bubble vest on, but he had a symbol printed from printer paper, safety pinned on it, just to like hang out.
Of course he did. I'm gonna get a beer. I'll be right back. You two talk for a second, and then I'm gonna show you my my Dead Sea outfit.
You talk.
So I told Ben about my encounter with Emma Ruth Rundle, which is kind of funny, but like my favorite encounter with a musician that I've had is with Pharmacon. Pharmacon, the last show that I saw before quarantine started, and I saw her on my birthday last year, which is rapidly approaching, and I was like on the edge of the stage, basically, and she started the show, like within a minute, like, and she just like Pharmacon just like she just falls into me, and I'm like, oh god, oh no, and I just like fall back onto some like music equipment. She like lands in my lap, and she's like looking up at me from my lap, just screaming whatever she is screaming up at me, and I didn't really know how to respond to it, so I was just like like, and then she just like, up and doesn't, you know, like that's probably my favorite encounter that I've had with a musician. I
feel like
along with when I met
those.
Huh?
Like I met MC Chris when I was a kid, and that guy's a fucking douchebag.
Like that, along with when I met John from AJK, is like my favorite musician encounters. And when I showed Punisher a meme that I made of him, because I was drunk, and he showed up at the merch table, and I was just like, "Hey, look," and he was just like, "Oh, okay."
I like that though. You made a meme. That's you put thought into creating something about the guy,
and you brought it to the show. And that's the best part.
I did. It was like a Teletubbies meme.
I was really young, mindless self-indulgence, and I went Jimmy Urine backstage, and I asked him if he would sign my dick, just because I thought that was edgy and he would like that. And he was like, yeah, absolutely, sure, take it out. And like I started to, and security like almost tackled me. They were like,
really?
I think it's because it was like an all ages show, so they
because you were a child.
Probably, yeah.
You were what, 16?
No, I think I was might have been 17. Probably a good airport.
I loved MSI when I was a kid, but I never saw them.
I saw them one night, and then the next night we saw the Bloodhound Gang. It was crazy in Minneapolis. Yeah.
Was this all in like 2003?
It was when the Bloodhound Gang was going for Hefty Fun. Never Hefty. I can't remember.
I actually never was a Bloodhound Gang person.
I'm an idiot, and so I was.
I mean, dude, and we're not going to talk about my musician stories because I have too easy access through my blog, so. Huh?
Tell us a bad one.
A bad one?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Come on, JG Thurwell's an asshole. Just admit it. Come on.
Oh, I love him. I've never actually talked to him, though, but I see him at every show.
He seems lovely. I love him.
No, he seems truly kind. We also have friends in common, so I know that he is. Our friend Metal Kid says they hang with the guys from I Hate God. They seem like they could be nice. I don't know.
Heroin?
I have a weird, bad story about a musician.
Sorry about who?
This is my favorite part of the whole night.
Wait, who's your story about here? I'm sorry. Shit keeps cutting out.
What?
Who's your story about? My thing keeps cutting out.
My story. So I have a Blake Judd story.
Okay, this is why we're here tonight. The Blake Judd story. Oh yeah, Chris is. We're gonna chug for this.
Let's chug first, and then
do a
Blake
shot.
Judd story.
You guys do 3 seconds, okay? Sound good?
Sure, let's do this.
Cheers.
Oh,
I'm pretending like I'm doing all right.
okay. I want to hear this Blake Judd story.
Yes.
Where's yours? I'm even gonna.
Probably not the most exciting thing in the world. Like, okay, so I don't know if you are aware of like his more recent endeavors.
No.
But like when
His
when
label.
he had like, I forget what it was, like something combat records or whatever.
Battle Command.
2013 or something. Battle Command, yeah. Like, so he started up a label probably like 3 years ago called Ascension Monuments.
Oh, I remember Ascension Monuments.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's probably not the most interesting story in the world, but like everybody who ordered through Ascension Monuments probably has an Ascension Monuments story. And I just remember like I ordered something through them. I didn't really know the background of Blake Judd. I didn't know he was behind it at the time because he was, I think, trying to keep it like pretty lock and key.
That he was somebody else was running, and he was just helping pack orders.
Yeah. So I ordered something through them, and then like it was like a month later, and it hadn't shipped. So I messaged them through their Facebook, and I started talking to Blake through the Facebook, and God, I wish I still had my old Facebook because I could like dig this picture. He sent me this like selfie of him where he's just like throwing the horns because he's just like, I don't know, like
haven't shipped it yet. Keep it melted.
he free shit. Sent me a bunch of free shit. Like he sent me a bunch of free Judas Iscariot bootleg tapes and a bootleg Judas Iscariot flag and whatnot. But he like sent me this picture of him, this selfie of him where he's like giving the horns and whatnot. And it was just like the whole situation was just like really funny. And I remember like Seatown a little bit about it through Twitter because everybody was just like, because at the time, like, you know, I was trying to get some Judas Iscariot shit, and I was trying to get some whatever through that label because he was saying, like, oh, you know, I'm like doing this big reissue campaign of Judas Iscariot stuff, and that like never happened basically. And then he was like releasing Leviathan stuff, and then even fucking Whitehead was like like not associated with this at all.
Yeah,
like not getting paid.
Yeah, because it was a cash grab. It's I have access to this and I'm gonna make money. Which it's like, if you want to be a scam, why don't you like become a banker or some shit? Why are you in black metal? That's not even a good way to make money.
Right, like, because the thing is,
what did he make?
In
like
black metal, people are gonna get more pissed off with you if you're scamming them than if you're like a straight up Nazi.
Yeah,
like,
what the fuck is up with that?
Like, people hate Blake Judd because he like ripped them off through like mail order. Like they're more pissed with him than they are with like people who are actual fucking Nazis.
Yeah. The thing is, like, everybody hates Blake Judd, but but if you talk about Granville Isles Key, they're suddenly like, oh yeah, no, it's great. I love that shit, man. What the fuck, man? It's not even good music. And even if it was, they're Nazis, like actual Nazis.
Everybody likes that band Soft Kill. They don't remember that guy was grave and ripped off all those.
God damn. Oh yeah, that was like in the Bless Your Grave days.
Yep. I remember that. And that guy's still an asshole.
So is he?
I don't know.
I will say I know his better half now. The person he's been with for the last number of years. I know that.
That was $35.
Yeah, no, a lot of people. If you contact him and tell him that he ripped you off, he's actually been rectifying that. Which I will give him props for that. He's been sending. He's been doing his part to own up to it. I mean, he's in recovery now. He was.
Get all real and sad. Fine.
I know. Sorry. No, dude. But that's the thing. Like,
those shitty bands. Fine.
People like that should be addressed.
I know.
Honestly, it's rare that somebody does try to make it right.
He's worthy of. I have
the accountability process, like, it's very strange, especially through the internet, because, like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of times, like, when we talk about like accountability with musicians, like, it kind of falls into this like,
ow, fuck,
weird crap where we're holding people accountable through being consumers,
right,
of music, as opposed to like being actually involved in any sort of accountability process.
Yeah.
And like, obviously, I don't think that like if somebody is actively problematic or anything, like, you should financially support them or anything. But at the same time, like, you know, how much is that actually contributing to holding this person accountable? Like, because are they actually like changing their behaviors and whatnot? And it's kind of a weird thing. Like, I feel like through like Twitter and whatever other avenues, like, we feel like we have more access to that process than we actually do sometimes.
Yes.
And
I've been trying to address things with a certain label for a long time, and I'm not important, but I also know that I'm visible, and obviously that certain label that we are not even going to get into here has no traction. Because I mean, but seriously, fuck that guy. You know.
We all know.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, I mean, also just because like,
baby,
huh?
Nothing. What?
Yeah, most people are not on Twitter, and most people, even many who are on Twitter, don't care because they're enjoying themselves and their life is not affected. And to be fair, I do understand why, even if you're a progressive person, buying a record from somebody who sucks a little is certainly not the same as signing on wholesale with X, Y, and Z bad thing that person has done. I understand that, but at the same time, when it's like, when I look at label head who has done things that have directly hurt people I consider my friends, I in no way wish to support him or any artists who are in his roster and thereby generating his paychecks. I also understand that there are bigger fights to fight, and if somebody doesn't view that as a worthwhile use of their time, I'm not going to begrudge them, but I know where my line is. And
right,
somebody else's line may be somewhere else. And I mean, as long as they're not, I mean, if you're out there buying Der Stürmer shit, fuck you.
Yeah.
But like,
hey, or wear a shirt, right?
Or what?
Sorry, Chris.
Or wearing the shirt.
I don't know anybody who would wear that shirt.
I do.
Yeah, I know.
I saw a guy at a Mara show with an Absurd shirt on last year, and I was just like,
I saw the only time I ever met the dude from Swallowing Bile. He was at the same La Suria show that I was at. And he just flat out was wearing a xenophobic ejaculation shirt. Like, no cares in the world. And I remember the back of the shirt said, N-word dog shit.
And he's worried that yeah, and this guy is now worried that people who aren't white don't like him. I wonder why.
He said there were too many Mexicans in San Antonio where he lived, so he moved back to bumfuck rural New York and just, I don't know.
Oh, he's here again?
Yeah, he's one of you now. Fun.
It's really frustrating too because before, I mean, I will say, like, we're talking accountability. Before Ethan from Swallowing Bile basically owned up to his racism and started a noise project called Plantation and shit, his project was one I supported thoroughly. It was one of my gateways into harsh noise.
Yeah, I mean, Swallowing Bile on the surface doesn't really tell you that the guy's like, he can come out and tell you he's a shithead, and he really just couldn't hold it back.
Yeah, no, but that's the thing. Like, I mean, because when I knew him, he was I mean, for one, he was a fucking child, and like there were all these videos of him on the internet doing like the finger skateboarding things. It was like, okay, you're a fucking nerd making some noise, and then
he's one of the few people that made Tech Decks racist.
Yeah, that's like
gotta give him props for at least incorporating his ideology.
But yeah, no, it was a really strange but also predictable pivot to watch this guy go from being a nerdy nobody from fucking Rochester to, you know, getting a little attention and noise and suddenly realizing that being edgy and dangerous was like, I mean, also he clearly believes that in some way. You know, he and his girl being Polish, which, what a boring fucking thing. Part of my family is Polish. I don't give a fuck about that. I live in a Polish neighborhood. I like a pierogi, but
then if you ever do want to start an NSBM project, you're in already. You're in the door.
I know, that's the thing. I'm pale enough.
Pale and Polish. Sarah Beth's here. She's telling me I need to leave.
No, I want to do Mario Kart. Okay.
Okay.
You should go play Mario Kart.
I will.
You should.
It was good to see you guys.
It's a love triangle. I love you both, so it's tough for me to divide my time.
Love you, Ben.
See you guys. Have fun.
It was a great time. Thank you.
So, Hospital Productions ties to Akitsa. I have a lot of thoughts on that. And to be fair, they're messy. If you, and again, full transparency, if you look online at pictures of me with my dead best friend, the last picture I have with my friend who's dead, I'm wearing an Akitsa shirt. That's a band whose music has meant a lot to me, and also whose history I had done zero digging into, because it didn't even fucking occur to me. And I will say, like, there's this whole metal noir québécois thing that a lot of people give a pass with Forteresse and all of that I have loved, and honestly think those bands are musically quite adept in many ways, and I no longer which I used to have. I've also still navigating the situation with Akitsa Hospital, Tour de Garde, which is a label that has fantastic stuff that is very not NS on it too. It's not a black and white thing for me. I would love, my ideal outcome is to find out the dude has done some dumb shit and has learned from it. I don't know. Because they've also put out like
Bez Mahash, or however the fuck you say it, which is explicitly unacceptable. NSBM. Fuck that. Fuck that band. Fuck the people in that band, and fuck the people that are excited about that band and their activities. I've also heard from friends of mine here who are very left wing, very Jewish like myself, that there's more to it than that. And these are not even people with an investment in black metal. I'm gonna name them because they got their own world and their own things going on. But like people who I know who are not in black metal have told me that that we should have a talk because there's more going on with the Kitsa than just that. And to be fair, that could still be total horseshit. A Kitsa could still be absolutely brazenly nationalist. And I don't know. I don't speak French, and I don't have a strong understanding of the project or what it's about. I've enjoyed a lot of their music, and if it's not what I've thought it was, then I would fucking can it, just like I've canned a lot of things that I've enjoyed. And hey, I understand if you're not into talking politics. I think it's a messy, uncomfortable thing for a lot of people. For me, and for a lot of people I love, it is a dire, direct thing, and I do think it's important to talk about, especially because I know a lot of people do look to me as a source of new music, and you want to know, like, let's say, and I mean, I'm a political person, but let's say that let's say Ben is completely not political. I don't give a fuck about politics. There's a lot of people that watch me or talk to me on Twitter or read my writing elsewhere who maybe are involved in politics or who have identities that are more marginalized than my own. Because I realize that even though I'm Jewish, I'm white. The world is my oyster, so to speak. I have a lot of friends and people I love who that's not the case, and I think that it's fair that I'm only recommending an artist who is not actively invested in making the world harder for people that are coming to me for advice. Whether you are a person of color, whether you are transgender, whether you're a woman, whether you are anything that is not a straight white cisgender male, the world is less hospitable to you. And some musicians use their art to further that inhospitability. I don't need every band to be singing about some sort of great loving utopia. But if a band is actually using their music to further harm and hate, that is something that I'm going to take note of and just not share with my followers. As I've said about other things tonight, sometimes there are lines. There are people who are imperfect. There are things that are not great, but they're also not fucking scum of the earth. And I think, we can all define our own personal line. We're all adults. But I do think it is important, at least for me, to delineate what is and what isn't. There are bands I have loved who are not people who I think are savory personalities. There is a member of my favorite band who is, not a metal band. There's a member of The Cure who I'm pretty sure is, a pro-Brexit person. The Cure is my favorite fucking band. They're not metal at all. And a member of The Cure, some rich, old white dude, is really pro-Brexit. Brexit's hurting a lot of people, a lot of very vulnerable people. I'm not going to disown The Cure. They're my favorite band. But I'm also going to acknowledge that dude is like 60 fucking years old. And it's not Robert Smith. If you're watching this and you love The Cure, it's not Robert Smith. It's another member of The Cure who likes Brexit. He's old and rich. He doesn't fucking understand what's at play. He's old and stupid and should shut his goddamn mouth. That's like a lot of old people. And, Yeah, Jeremy, thank you. Yeah, I personally believe that being apolitical still has an impact. I I have my beliefs. I think they're very clear, very direct and obvious. Uh, but it's I don't need to sit here and give a talk on socialism. I don't need to talk about these things. But I do think that as somebody that talks about music and shares music, I should at least make it clear if you want to support X, Y, and Z, here's what that entails. Kira is requesting to be back in, and you want to talk about The Cure, because I think that's one of your favorite bands too. So,
I'm upset. My phone is charging at a weird angle. So excuse
okay.
that.
You look good sideways
yeah,
too. We're fine.
Thanks. Yeah, like my thing is like I have bands that I support like very undyingly. And some of those are like The Cure, Thou, you know.
Yeah.
And I feel like, I mean, if you don't want to mention, we can DM later. You can tell me which member of The Cure is like a Tory or whatever. If you don't feel like
I
name
don't
dropping
know if
right now.
I don't know if I'm supposed to know. I know people who are acquainted with them, and I think they got into an argument. Thankfully,
Yeah,
no.
I didn't know.
He watches my goddamn YouTube channel, so it doesn't matter that much. But I also don't know if they want that directly online. So yeah, I'll tell you later. But it's one of those things that is simultaneously like how Bruce Dickinson is a fucking Brexiteer. I love Iron Maiden. Iron Maiden is fun. I also think he's old and stupid and disconnected. He's goddamn Bruce Dickinson. He doesn't live in reality that you and I live in. Bruce Dickinson lives in a rich world where you can just become a jet pilot because you're bored and want a new hobby. I don't expect someone like that to understand the struggles of the working poor.
I feel like the element of the internet that is like stan culture or whatever is kind of like pretty bad because like I like as a fan of certain musicians, like if a member of a certain band, like particularly like The Cure and Thou, who I fuck run circles about on the internet, especially Thou, not as much The Cure, but yeah, The Cure is my favorite. Like if a member of that band were to do something shitty for like saying something like as opposed to like denying it or being or like trying to excuse it, like because I've invested money and time and emotional investment into this art project or whatever, and like you know like it's not a thing where like you like these people who make music and art that you like aren't necessarily always going to be good people. They're not always necessarily going to have correct opinions, and sometimes you need to say something about it,
Right.
and it's not always like comfortable and it's not always fun, but if you openly support something, if something goes awry, like I feel like you have some sort of responsibility to like say something about it,
And I think that's a really measured stance. Garrett says, I only stand blood incantation, and that's fair. But, I mean, when Stargate opens and something you don't like comes out, you may regret that stance. And that's like the only, I'm a clown and I have a tattoo of a band, and both of the
I
members.
plan on getting on getting an Alcest tattoo.
That's a great band. I waited and
people have opinions about Alcest because of his prior associations.
I mean, yeah.
I fully, I mean, my thing is like, if you have a line, like kind of what you've said, like if you have a line, then that's fine. Like that's your line. Not everybody has that one. I mean, because people always bring up like his involvement with Pest Noir when he was really young, but he was involved in a side project with Drudka, like
the old Silver Key there,
or something. But I feel like, especially with a band like Drudka, there's a lot of bands in black metal that I feel like exist in this gray area with within politics, because like I don't think that most of the people that you would come across that like Drudka are aware that like that guy is in a fucking right-wing militia group or whatever he's involved in. You know?
I think obviously if you look at his involvement in Hate Forest, it's a lot clearer. But the between Drudk and Hate Forest is not always explicitly stated, and I when I come to something where I know people are into a band that I know to be less than savory individuals, I do not expect that they are coming from the same place politically or also knowledge-wise. I have, and this is not a source of pride, this is just a fact, I have more stupid black metal tapes than anybody should ever own in their life. I know more about this than a sane, healthy person with normal degree of interest should. I'm obsessed, and I also care about the impact these things have. So it's natural that my understanding and the delving that I've done is going to be different, just like someone like yourself. When you care deeply about something and you want it to be better than what it has been, you're gonna look up things that give you information you may not like all the time. And I used to a very long time ago, like 2006 we're talking, I listened to Drudk because I did not have a fucking concept of that. I mean, the metal archives existed, but you couldn't just Google band plus Metallum and get, all your dirt. So I knew Burzum was a Nazi, so I never fucking listened to Burzum. I have never listened to that band. I mean, I've heard it, but like, I've never been a listener. I've never gone out of my way to look up and hear more of that. Other people do. It's part of their gateway bands, and I'm not going to hold that against them, although I think it's silly to cling to that. So it's like, because of my obsession, I'm going to know, like, when you talk to me about a band that may have some kind of loose ties, like, I may know, but also like, it's a microcosm. If you look at Alce and you think, oh yeah, dude was in a band with members of this band with that, and like it is real, it exists, but at the same time, it is also not necessarily a reflection of the artist as he is today. And I do understand what you're saying about that. Like, for me, the only band I have a tattoo of is Coil. Both of them are dead when I got the tattoo, so it's like, okay, they're not going to do anything that I don't already know about. They're not going to come around later.
Even then, like I have a friend who, like, because of, I think, like maybe a music video. I haven't seen the music video. I've been told about it by another friend, but like another friend told me like they have like weird sort of like pedophile
Coil
or other.
Peter Christopherson, after the death of John Balance, Peter moved to Thailand. I think that he kept young lovers. It's pretty.
I like Coil. I like Coil. Just
yeah. No, I mean, I also think I I don't need Coil to be saints.
Right.
I'm, you know, I also I don't know, the full depth of their personal intimate lives. I think that there are things that they have done that I would never do. I mean, I'm not cruising young people of any gender. I'm not cruising anybody at all. To be fair, I'm newly single and happy to just be by myself. But
Word.
even were I on the prowl, it would likely be somebody over the age of 30, as I am. I don't look at somebody who's especially like under 25 and think, oh yeah, that is a sexual connection there, because I'm an older person. I'm not old, but older than that, and that would be weird to me. I know for I know that in certain communities, there's maybe more of a blurring of lines between age play and this and that. I don't know. It's not a world I'm part of. I don't think it's right to be predatory towards young people, though. That's fucking a clear cut line. But I know that I have friends who are, in different branches of the queer community who are younger than me, who are dating people who are older than me, and that's their world. If they're happy and it's consensual, that's cool. But obviously, with actual young children, I don't fucking know. I also don't know specifics about that. But yeah, Coil, imperfect people, terribly imperfect people. They also made music that was based on that rawness. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, there's nothing more they can add to their own legacy that is going to make me suddenly be like, I can't believe I've committed to this. Like I would get a tattoo from The Cure, but to be fair, a lot of their design shit is just hideous to me, and so I don't know what I would do. Like,
I do have a Cure tattoo.
can we see
It's
it? I'm sorry.
It's on my butt.
Okay.
My friend did stick and poke. It says "Boys Don't Cry."
That's
which
wonderful.
is as much of a gender thing for me as it is a Cure thing.
You know the film, I'm assuming.
Which film?
The Boys Don't Cry.
I don't. No, I don't.
I'll link you to it later. Don't watch it if you're in a volatile state. That's all I'll say. We'll talk later about that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But yeah, like, the thing with black metal, especially like if you're talking about any aspect of the Norwegian scene, like you're gonna find something that you don't like. You're gonna find something that crosses the line. Like, everybody loves Abbott. I love Abbott. I think he's a goofy dude.
I hope he's okay.
Yeah, I felt very bad when he was going through what he was going through with his alcohol and drug addiction and whatnot.
Yeah.
But some people might find a line in the fact that like he was in a band with Varg.
Old Funeral.
It's the thing, and I feel like, to me, like, one of the big gray areas is a band like Emperor, where Frost was in that, and then they brought him back on tour a few years ago, and some people.
You mean Faust?
Faust, yeah, sorry, not Frost.
No, sorry. Just because Frost is an actual different person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Frost is just a very attractive man.
Faust is a piece of shit.
Yeah, fuck Faust. But they brought him back on tour back in like 2016 or whatever. But I remember I read an interview with Isan, and he was talking about how like the sort of way that they view the justice system in Norway is slightly different to how we view it in America, where like he served his time, and
they have
life sentences there.
They truly believe that they actually use prison as rehabilitation and not just as penal as as this penal colony. That said, like
Right.
it cannot bring a dead person back. It's
plus, like, I mean, not that Gall is a good person either, but when Gall came out as gay, like, Faust was apparently one of the people who came out early on and supported him.
Right. And it's complex.
It's very, and like when people try to paint that as very black and white, it creates a lot of problems. Again, when it's people's personal lines, that's a different thing. But when people try to paint those lines for other people, it's a little.
Yeah, it's weird. Sorry. But no, like I wrote an article about this last year. I don't. I'm not trying to plug myself, but like it was something I had to grapple with because it was last year was the 25th anniversary of both Transylvanian Hunger and In the Night Side Eclipse. And so I wrote a piece for The Quietus, grappling with the complex legacies of its records, and I don't have answers. I'm not your fucking mother. I'm not going to tell you which album you can or cannot listen to or why you should or should not. But I had a lot of questions about what makes when do we look at somebody and decide that their penance is enough? When do we look at an incident of somebody doing something and decide this is unforgivable? I think that the actions of Faust, you cannot bring back a dead person.
Right.
The homophobia, the hate in that act is eternal, even if the person and their personal views are shifted. The action is permanent, and I think it should be treated as such. Emperor is also a band. I mean, that is one of the albums that changed my life. Knowing that his crime came after he'd committed that album to record does not change the weight of supporting that, but it's hard. I definitely don't enjoy it the same way I used to. The older I get, it becomes a little different. Whereas Dark Throne, you look like, and not to say that they're Dark Throne has been rehabilitated as the good boys of black metal, and to be fair, they've done a lot to change that. But like, they were talking about people being Jewish. They were true Aryan black metal at one point. I'm Jewish, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But they learned from what they fucking did wrong. They made points to distance themselves from that and to do things that were kind of a commitment against that. Right. It doesn't undo their words. Their words didn't kill anybody. Transylvanian Hunger, written by Varg Vikernes. Vikernes, I don't know how to pronounce his fucking name. He's a dick anyway. Hell with that guy. Sorry?
I just say Vikernes.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I hate him. I'd like to pronounce it wrong. I want to make sure I'm getting it wrong. Because hell with it. But no, it's like,
France is Louis something.
Oh, he's Louis now?
Louis Sachet or something like that.
Louis.
Because he was running legal issues in France where he now lives.
That's right. But yeah, no, I mean, that guy, oh my god, dude. Like, it. But yeah, I mean, point being, I think it's possible to have a complex legacy and to handle it as the complex thing it is. Cachet. See, we got somebody.
Louis It is. Yeah. Louis Cachet.
Thank you, Natasha. I appreciate that. It's like I can't hang with a lot of that, but at the same time, again, somebody else's line may be somewhere else, and obviously there are certain degrees where it's like, again, if you're supporting bands whose mission and message are explicitly hateful, like Der Stürmer or Absurd or something, whereas like this band exists to push a Nazi message.
Like if your band is specifically on the Wikipedia page for NSPM,
it's like, probably not.
But like, I'm not. If I see somebody on the street and they are wearing a Drudka shirt or a Marduk shirt, or even honestly, because of just the culture of things, even if they're wearing a Burzum shirt, I'm not going to automatically assume that they're a Nazi, because that type of shit exists in sort of a gray area where, like, especially like a teenager getting into black metal, like if they fucking listen to Burzum, like I'm gonna be like, hey, you might want to rethink that.
Right.
And like, if people bring up a certain, like, because my thing is with bands and artists who are problematic and who have exhibited really shitty behavior or whatever, if somebody brings them up to me, I'm going to say something. Like, I'm going to make them aware of it.
Yeah.
And at that point, it's up to them to decide if that crosses a line for them. Like, I remember a friend of mine brought up King Dude at some point to me, and I was like, I've never listened to him, but I know of some bad shit that he has done. Because I feel like if I know that type of thing, it's on me to bring it up. But I'm not. Right. I can't police what people listen to personally, and especially when it's people who don't really like promote things in the first place. Like, I can't really do anything.
Of course.
And yeah, it's a weird sort of area to exist in. And like, especially for me, like as a trans person, like, I don't want to be promoting people who like want me dead, right? Like,
why would you?
But
they promote you.
I still I listen to things occasionally that probably wouldn't fit the radar or whatever. I don't know.
Well, and I think that's the thing. There's also a big difference. Like, I run a platform that has, I mean, again, there are 5 people watching me right now on the internet. Possibly myself. I don't even know. I have an audience. It's not large. It's not small. When I tweet, there's over 6,000 people that see a tweet. But I feel that I have an obligation to make sure that I'm not promoting any hateful or harmful art. If you are an individual in your own home enjoying something for your own personal consumption, you're not telling people that you like the message, and you're not spreading the message or giving that artist your support in any tangible way that furthers what they're doing. I don't know if that makes it good or acceptable, but I know that makes it different from the situation I'm in. I'm not going to go out here and tell you to listen to something that I actively know to be harmful.
Right.
But if you, Kira, are sitting at home and you think, I really want to hear X, Y, and Z, I knew it before I knew it was a bad thing to listen to. I have this association with it. It's nostalgic. Whatever your thing is. I don't have an answer for what that could or should be because I'm not your parent. I'm not the police, and I don't think that that's for me or anybody who's not you to decide. I mean, I've had talks with friends about everything. Like David Bowie, a complex issue. A lot of very beloved artists who are well outside of the realms of the underground have legacies that are imperfect. I am not about to sit and try and litigate that or decide. I mean, I'm an idiot sitting in like a fucking 10 by 15-foot room in Queens. I do not decide anybody's life other than my own, and half the time I'm not even in charge of my own life.
Well, like, you have a bigger platform than I do.
Unfortunately,
I have like 1,000 something followers on Twitter. I wrote a column for my college newspaper for a little while called The Scourge Pit, which was a Thou reference.
I remember this.
Yeah, and concurrently while I was doing that, I was posting those columns on a Blogspot account, and which doesn't really exist anymore. But on one of those, I talked about lingua ignota, and for a little while, before I privated the columns that I had put on the internet because I just didn't really want them up there.
Right.
Put a little disclaimer on the column where I talked about Nota, and I was like talking about the label
Yeah.
that she was on. And even in that small, very small platform that I had, I felt like I had some sort of responsibility to say something about, like, I didn't want to expunge it at the time. I've kind of expunged everything at this point because I have insecurities and whatnot, and don't want to like have my writing up there all the time. But when I still wanted to have the writing up there, I had put a little disclaimer, like, the label that this person is on isn't very savory.
Yeah.
And you might want to think twice about purchasing it or supporting it or whatever.
Right.
Even that small of a platform, like I felt like I needed to make that disclaimer.
Yeah. Especially if you're providing information to people that may not have had that information otherwise. That I feel is a time when it has value to share the information that you have that others may not. And let them decide what to do with it.
Right. And like, people aren't always going to decide what you decide to do
Right.
with that information.
It doesn't make them good or bad people. It makes them complex and probably fucked up and flawed like the rest of us. I am not a good person. I'm a person that strives for goodness, but I make mistakes, and I'm so glad I make mistakes. What would I be?
I've told you about my past issues, past flaws and mistakes that I've made, and
Yeah,
I've told many other people those things, and
look, none of us came into this world destined for sainthood.
Yeah,
that would be boring anyway.
I never have claimed to be perfect or anything, and that's part of why I don't share a lot of these opinions on Twitter, because like I just don't feel like sometimes I just don't feel like dealing with it because like sometimes the discourse just is so weird. And
I think there's a thing that happens, and it's not bad. It's just a function of a community. Sometimes is that we say something, we being one or more of us, and we, our peers chime in, and suddenly what was something that was small and well intentioned takes on its own inertia, and sometimes good things get carried away. And I just say, Jeremy, thank you so much. Glad to have you here. This is the longest one of these I've ever done, so thanks for being here. The discourse, Garrett, yeah, but that's the thing. Like when you have a lot of people, and again, are imperfect, and we all have our own different standards and ideas, but especially when we think that we are speaking in a place where our peer group that we want to be approved by will see what we're saying, we say things that we think that they will approve of. And to be fair, there's good and bad in that. It is good that we think of others. It is good that we are concerned with speaking in a way that is considerate of others. I think sometimes, though, it does us to a place where we are not ourselves for the sake of others. And I need to make that clear. I'm not saying that like we're all secretly listening to shady ass music and just like not telling anybody. Like that's not what I mean at all. But I do think that sometimes we lose nuance in the quest for a peer group that will easily digest the things that we are sharing with them.
right.
And I need to say, our friend Garrett is chiming in. Garrett, I love you so much, dude. As an anthropologist, I can say that social inertia, humans talking about it, is neither good nor bad. It just is, We still have feelings, etc. And that's the thing. Like, I'm not an anthropologist.
Right.
I'm a high school dropout who happens to be articulate enough to make people think I'm not. Sorry, I got something in my eye. I swear I'm not ignoring you.
Like I have a history degree, right? Or, international studies degree, whatever.
Congratulations. Like, that's really hard to get.
Yeehaw. And like the complexities of people that, we maybe look up to or whatever aren't always great. We don't always find good things in people that we like,
for sure. That's putting it lightly.
I'm sort of more on the anarchist leaning side of things politically, so I don't really care to defend states, but there's certain states where there's some amount of defense that you need to levy against American or Western imperialism, and one of those states I feel like is Cuba. But in that, you still need to acknowledge that Cuba had in the 60s fucking camps, labor camps where they sent gay people because that wasn't in the vision of masculine sort of communism, right? Those are things that you need to acknowledge in order to sort of move past it.
All right. We can acknowledge the way that Cuba is portrayed in capitalist America is going to be an inaccurate representation of what Cuba is and has been, while also acknowledging that Cuba is not utopia.
And hasn't been. Also, Cuba currently, I as a trans person would have better treatment in Cuba than I do in America, because like I can get, you know, hormones and bottom surgery or anything like that paid for under a socialized healthcare system in Cuba,
Yeah.
where I can't do that in America. So like things like that you need to like pay attention to. Like it's I just have a big problem with painting a lot of things in a black and white context, because there's so many things that you can't, you just you can't.
Reality
and I
isn't
think like
that way.
from a leftist perspective, like, you know, I believe in reform of people, and I believe in like you know, rehabilitative justice and whatnot. And like I don't think if you believe in those things you can completely just say, oh, this person has done or said this thing, therefore they're not part of anything, they can't be part of this. Like,
Yeah. I think there are actions we can take.
you know, if you think that like the current prison system and the current justice system is bad, I don't think that you can believe those things.
Right.
Like if you believe like we need to restore people, we need to like rehabilitate people, we need to have a system that holds people accountable in an effective way, and also makes them change their behavior. Like, you need to believe in the system, in some sort of social whatever system that like breeds that change in people.
Well, I think ultimately the thing is, and I mean, Garrett puts it nicely, everything is so complex no matter what we humans want it to be. It's we I do think there are obviously lines that cannot be uncrossed.
Right.
And they don't, and it doesn't mean that you are absolutely X, Y, or Z, but that the action you have taken cannot be undone. I think that very often quest for betterness seek to focus on the imperfections of others rather than our own in the quest for better. And I think that when we are truly a loving, supportive, positive community, we do push peers, our loved ones, our community to be collectively better. I also think that if we are not, firmly directing that at ourselves, then there's no point. And again, Garrett chiming in, it's no excuse to be dumbass, and exactly that. Like, for example, I am, again, I'm not old. I'm 33, but I am old enough to where there are mistakes that I am not allowed to make that somebody who is 23 can make. It's experience, it's time, it's a knowledge of self and a knowledge of others, and our collective autonomy. If you, Kira, you're 22 years old, if you make certain mistakes, it doesn't make them good, but they may be a learning experience for you. Whereas somebody in my position in life, if I were to have the same experience, the context is inherently different. I can't do that, and thank goodness I hopefully won't and wouldn't. Whereas when I was 22, I probably needed to make those mistakes to become who I am today. And I think that's a really interesting thing about the internet is, like, when I was at my most foolish, young, naive, and in need of growth and learning, there was not a cataloged, archived internet presence of me that was linked to me that I could and would be defined by in perpetuity. It wasn't a thing.
it is now. And I do feel that that is a concern I have for my younger friends who are learning as they grow. Generation Z and whoever will follow them. I am so glad that I had my adolescence in the age of dial up because I had a luxury of being able to be wrong, being able to be told I'm wrong, and have it just end at that because I learned from being wrong. And often, to be fair, too, at that point in life, I was often wrong in a way that was not on the internet at all. I was wrong, and somebody who loved me told me as much. Like, dude, shut the fuck up. What are you saying? Like, this is foolish. But I feel like nowadays, uh, we can and should continue to tell each other we're wrong. It doesn't need to be permanent. We don't need to make that wrong an eternal wrong. And to be fair, there are, again, are some things that are not, they're irrevocably wrong. You've committed to this wrongness and you should be ashamed of yourself for it. But I think
and there's also like when you point they're wrong, they backpedal, they sort of get defensive.
Well, of course,
whatever.
Do you come at this with humility and a desire to grow, or do you come at it with a desire to be right?
Right, or like there's a certain person on metal Twitter who maybe we won't discuss, who kind of came at the accountability process in a bad way.
It may have gotten half of Twitter to hate me. I'm sure you remember. I am not very popular on Twitter because of that, because I was very aggressive with that person, but they deserved it.
And maybe after this I'll face some sort of Twitter backlash.
Nobody's watching.
I haven't. What?
Nobody's watching. You're 3 hours in on my fucking YouTube channel. Nobody's watching this. And that's okay.
I mean,
I don't need anybody to watch.
I opt to tweet about piss and cum on Twitter because I sometimes it's just like
Are you Langdon?
I wish I was Langdon.
Langdon's a sweetie, but not you are your own person.
I much Langdon, I reading his writing has helped me in immeasurable ways. I love that dude so much.
He's a very insightful, beautiful.
Yeah, he finds insight in certain things that I'm just I'm totally fucking daft to. I love that dude so much.
Langdon is very cerebral. Langdon, I think, has the blessing and the curse of being a prisoner in his own mind. And he unleashes that onto the internet. And sometimes that means that we get 2 days of Langdon tweeting about Dracula loving his wife, and sometimes that means we get a week of Langdon tweeting about fucking a toilet seat.
Or hobbits having cloaca.
I'm sorry?
Or hobbits having cloaca.
Yeah, and I mean, to be fair, I'm certainly not a prude, but I do not understand. There's some part of me that does not understand, but at the same time, I love and accept and respect it. And I'm going to be honest, we are running at such a time here. I have had to pee for over an hour. I should probably call it a night on this.
During this, because my bladder is a fucking mess. But
I'm sorry?
There's some people on Twitter that I just absolutely adore. I adore you. I adore Langdon and Sebi and so many other people. Kelsey.
She lives in my neighborhood. I'll bring her onto one of these if I can, and you can watch me and Kelsey be real humans in a real space together.
And like Megan from Couch Slut, like I don't.
Love her.
She doesn't follow. She doesn't follow me, but like there's just some people on there that I just adore, and yeah, I don't know. It's but what was I gonna say?
You're talking about people you adore on there.
I was.
It's okay. Alcohol does these things to us sometimes.
Yeah, and I'm probably walk down to Sheets and get more cigarettes because this is my last cigarette that I have.
Get yourself a cigarette. I'm gonna log off here in a minute so that I can urinate because I've consumed a couple of beers. It's been curious having you as a guest tonight. I wasn't sure if I'd have any guests, and I'm so glad I had many, and I'm glad that you were among them. Thank you for being here.
Yeah,
it's really fun. I did not expect.
I've needed some like regular conversation. I've just been in a really bad state lately, and this has been nice to like talk about shit like this, because my brain lately has been focused purely inwardly, and I'm in like I'll message you later about it.
Yeah.
There's certain things that I'm like in a somewhat similar situation to you.
Okay.
What you're dealing with, not to the same extent, but
it doesn't diminish it. You don't have to compare yourself. Like human experiences are relatable. You don't have to talk experiencing.
But yeah, everything lately has been like very inward, and I've been isolating for not COVID reasons, and so this has been very nice to do this. So
we're gonna bring it back. It's a delight. The goal is for us to have a source of community, and not perfect, but it exists. So I will keep doing this, and you can always contact me directly. You being you, Kira, or anybody who's watching this deep in, like, we're here for each other. It's not always as we would like it to be, but it's as we need it to be. It just is what it is. But I'm going to log off because I'm going to piss my pants otherwise. Kira, thank you for...
bad that you're DJing.
Don't even worry about it. Like, to be fair, I live in New York. There are events. I had such a good time tonight. I had such a connection with so many good people. Burdan will understand that. I will see him again. It will be good when I see him. So don't stress on that. I was glad I had the chance to do this. Anybody else who's watching, thanks for being here, and I will connect with you all soon. We're going to do this again every Friday and Tuesday nights as well. I've got some things in the works where I've got some cool guests planned. I'm still working out with people who, artists and PR people. But if all goes in the next couple weeks, I have some very exciting new things coming up. So I love you all, and we're going to have more regular updates and more regular live streams soon. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you, Garrett. Thank you, Dumoir. Thank you, Natasha. Thank you, Kira. You're all beautiful, and I would kiss you all if I could. Cheers.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.